I'll proceed to give the floor to Dr. Kabiru, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute in support of the motion to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic, for delivering the presidential message in accordance with Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, it's rich when the respected former leader and minister responsible for education argues and debates same on the State of the Nation address and mention about new lexicons in our economic discourse, i.e. DDEP. Mr. Speaker, I'm quite young, but I grew up learning about SAP, Structure Adjustment Program. Mr. Speaker, I grew up learning about PAMSCAD. These were new lexicons introduced into this country by a government, which they are descendants of. So when it comes to new lexicons in our economic history, I'm quite sure, I'm certain, Mr. Speaker, that we know where the odds will fall. The NDC has been at the forefront when it comes to introducing austerity measures to the good people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I think that my respected leader talked about constitutional review. We should equally look at Article 67. Article 67 and put in safeguards. Mr. Speaker, the President comes to this House, he's at liberty to distort information, he's at liberty to embellish the information, but if we introduce safeguards into Article 67, including the possibility of charges for perjury, I'm sure Mr. President will be guarded next time when he mounts the podium to give us the State of the Nation address. He will give us the real State of the Nation address. And I'm not quite surprised when he stated, Mr. Speaker, in page 5, that two events would afford him the opportunity to present the real state of the needs. That is the National Economic Dialogue and the budget. So what he presented is to us. My constituent asked me, Mr. Speaker, President, what did he come here to do? Lamentation. The President opened a book of lamentation. Every single chapter of his presentation was a book of lamentation. Mr. Speaker, since our operators on the other side do not like data, we'll force them to drink the data. We'll force them to eat the data. We'll force them to breathe the data. Under John Mahama regime, Mr. Speaker, under John Mahama regime, the growth rate was 3.4%, Mr. Speaker. That economy was not criminal managed. A growth rate of 6% is a criminal mismanaged economy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they left a primary balance of 1.4 negative deficit. 1.4 primary balance, 1.4% was what you left. Mr. Speaker, we are leaving you with a surplus. We are leaving you 1.46 surplus. Mr. Speaker, the debt to GDP ratio was 73.1%. We are doing 72%. Mr. Speaker, they talk about debt. Mr. Speaker, MPP1 left government with a debt of 8 billion under President John Ajokun Kufuor. $8 billion. And when Mr. Mahama and John Mills came into power, they skyrocketed our debt to 29.2 billion. Mr. Speaker, without doing anything, the present value terms of that debt is 447 billion Ghana cedi. Wow. Without doing anything, the present value terms of that particular 29 billion they have left for us is 447 billion Ghana cedi, using the exchange rate of 14 or 15 Ghana cedi to the dollar. Mr. Speaker, compare that in contradistinction to the debt left by the Nana Akufo-Addo government. We are adding some 227 billion between these two governments, which has added more debt. Between these two, take your calculators and do the mathematics. It's obvious that the NDC government has contributed 43% of our debt stock, whilst the MPP contributed 38%. So when it comes to the debt debate, I kindly urge my colleagues on the other side to hasten with caution, because the numbers don't lie and the numbers don't support their position. Mr. Speaker, there are issues that I expected the president to have touched on, and the president, either out of deliberate act, refused to touch on them. The unlawfully wrongful dismissal of innocent Ghanaians. What wrong have the Ghanaian people committed? They queued in the sands and voted for Mr. John Dramani Mahama for him to come and visit them with that very difficult, very insensitive, very unlawful dismissal of Ghanaian young people. It is so pathetic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they talk about interest rate as if to say that we should clap for them, we should pat them on the back and give them credit that interest rate, treasury bills rates are coming down. Mr. Speaker, it's quite trite learning that your treasury bill rate should range between your monetary policy rate and the inflation rate. Inflation rate is 23%, Mr. Speaker. Policy rate is 27%. How come do you have 19%? If someone tinkering with the numbers, we will have to investigate. And I'm sure in the course of time, Mr. Speaker, we will summon the Bank of Ghana government back to this house to investigate what has occasioned this particular manipulation of numbers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even with the small money the government has gotten, we have delivered so much. We have delivered so much. And that in the education sector, they cancelled allowance, we restored it. Yes. In the education sector, they cancelled nursing allowance, we restored it. Yes. We gave students free senior high school education. Yes. We introduced TVET education and modernized it. Yes. Mr. Speaker, this is the achievement in education. When it comes to road sector, Mr. Speaker, we have constructed 13,000 kilometers worth of road. Yes. They did a patch 4,000 kilometers of road. Yes. Mr. Speaker, colleagues from the other side says that it includes Pacho. That has been the metric. That has been the metric we use. And Mr. Speaker, every single constituency here has been a beneficiary of Nana Akufo-Addo intervention. I will go to the Volta region. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member, resume your seat. Honorable Kwame Agoja. You have the floor, Honorable Kwame Agoja.
Mr. Speaker, I am not participating in the debate. But when a colleague makes a statement of which his own party has corrected that statement in the past, it is just important. Mr. Speaker, when President Akufo-Addo made that statement and we sought to correct him, the ministry issued a statement correcting to the fact that the 10,800 kilometers was the total length of roadwork they've worked on, which include a pothole patching. Indeed, on record, Mr. Speaker, what they have actually done in terms of constructing a new road is 670 kilometers thereabout. This is not a debate, Mr. Speaker. Hold on, Mr. Speaker. I think we all need to work on this. It is a method of reporting that was problematic. Indeed, there's no need for us to argue about this. Indeed, NPP worked, Mr. Speaker, if they will just listen. If they have actually constructed 13,000 kilometers of road, I wonder why you were asking me questions here last week, Friday, why your roads were not done. You were with the Vice President, Baumia. It is surprising that they've done 13,000 kilometers of road, which is from here to China, almost getting to Australia. Yet they didn't do the road in the Vice President constituency. So let's ignore this. The fact is that the record at the ministry today, the number of kilometers which you can call new roads or new construction development is 673 kilometers. That's it. Oh. If you have 13,000 kilometers of new road, mention it, and I'll change my story. So there's no need for that. Rather, be worried about the fact that whilst you argued about 17 billion cedis worth of entire commitment on road sector in 2017, you are leaving us a burden of over 100 billion today. And today, you were not shy. You were asking me questions here as to how your road will be completed. Mr. Speaker, I will be happy to make a statement in this House, giving you the details of the mess, Mr. Speaker, of the mess they have left in that country. I was forced to go to Kotoku in Ashanti region on Monday. Guess what? A breach that was reported to everybody, including my colleague minister, in 2018. They ignored it until I have to go there last week to deal with it. These are the things you did. So as for road sector, don't even mention it on this floor, because you will not be looking well in light. So, Mr. Speaker, road sector, don't go there. It is just a mess. It's just mess. And the minister is here. The last time the minister actually went public to tell me, hold on, when I said that the mess they created, this government awarded a road. This government awarded a road using a drone to define the alignment.
Honorable member,
today,
conclude.
The variation on that project is 1.7 billion. That is the minister asking.
Yes, honorable member, you have your turn to debate. The point of order is well noted. Honorable member, you spoke for 7 minutes, so 3 more minutes. You have the floor.
Okay, but I will do.
You have the floor. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
3 more minutes.
Mr. Speaker, and a point of order has been raised, and I think that part of addressing the point of order shouldn't be part of my minutes. Mr. Speaker.
I indicated that before recognizing the point of order, you spoke for 7 minutes. You have 3 more minutes, which means the intervention for the point of order is not part of your minute. Honorable Leader, how do I recognize the point of order on a point of order? Please, Honorable Leader, kindly resume your seat. With all due respect, Honorable Habib, kindly resume your seat. Honorable Kabiru, you have the floor.
All right.
Honorable Kabiru, your time is running.
Mr. Speaker.
After 3 minutes, I will give the floor. Honorable Kabiru, after 3 minutes, I will give the floor to another person. Habib, kindly resume your seat. Kindly resume your seat. Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, we are always here to help you. We are here to respect the chair. Mr. Speaker, the minority deputy whip was on his feet to draw your attention to an important matter, which he captioned it point of information. Mr. Speaker, if we, the 5 here, we get up on our feet, we're not saying that it is mandatory that recognize us, but it is because there is a cause for us to be up on our feet. Mr. Speaker, when we all agree on a protocol for debate, which protocol applies to everybody, same must be adhered to. From the one that we started this debate, the understanding is that no point of order will be recognized. I have a lot of respect for Honorable Kwame Abuja. I have a lot of respect for him, and I have a lot of respect for the chair. But I would also urge my respected colleague, who is the Roads and Highways Minister, to also know that there is always an opportunity for him to debate. The man is making a point. It's not everything that is said on this house that we would all be in agreement. But you take notes, allow him to make his point. But when you get up, point of order. Your side, somebody will get up and then another point of order. Now the deputy leader, a deputy whip, is on his feet to catch the attention of speaker. If we are not careful, then this also degenerates, and it's as if we are disrespecting the chair. I will repeat, it is not in our value system as a minority to disrespect the chair. But sometimes the situations are unbearable. They are unbearable. Please, colleagues, we have a long way to go. It's 4 years. We've only done 2 months. Let us start well so that all of us will be on the right path. If you treat us this way, nobody got up on a point of order, and now the next thing is that you have 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I'll give the space to somebody. And then you see a whole deputy minority whip on his feet, not really recognized, being embarrassed before his backbench. Where are we going to? When he is embarrassed, then the next time he's a human being with ego, he may also want to react. Mr. Speaker, let me rest the matter here. Please, you cannot be neutral. But once you are presiding, be seen to be fair. I rest my case. You see what my community do.
Honorable members, let's take note that in moderating the House, if the majority side is on the floor and a statement is made, let's say in education sector, and the former education minister is on his feet on a point of order, I am inclined to recognize such a person on a point of order. But honorable members, you know the rules very clear that we don't take point of order on a point of order. So, honorable members, give me the opportunity to moderate the House. The road minister, former road minister, is up. Are you up on a point of order against the speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On the speaker? Because it's the speaker who is speaking. I am the one speaking. So are you on point of order against me?
No. I'm on point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, order.
I'm on a point of information.
Unless you are having a point of order against the speaker.
No. I didn't say that.
Then kindly resume your seat. Kindly resume your seat. Please kindly resume your seat. Honorable members, with due respect, we have a lot. We even have an outstanding motions. So let's make progress. Honorable Dr. Kabiru, do you still want to utilize your 3 minutes? And let me place on record that I am being guided by the clerk. When I recognize a point of order, they will take note of the number of minutes that you have spoken. And that is what guides me as to the remaining time you have to be able to conclude your debate. I don't do it myself. I am being guided accordingly. So that was the basis for me telling you that you spoke for 7 minutes. You are now left with 3 minutes. Will you want to utilize the 3 minutes? Honorable Minority Whip, I plead with you. Let's make some progress.
Speaker, I want to catch your eye. Have I caught your eye? Or haven't caught your eye? I'm on my feet, Speaker, with respect. On my feet. Speaker, earlier on, you had given a good directive, and you put matters in perspective, said that former ministers, when they rise on their feet, you recognize them. In fact, Honorable Asenso got up several times to catch your eye, and he is a former minister for the sector. We thought that in the context of your own
wise guidance, you will recognize him. And hear him out.
Honorable Chief Whip, in which jurisdiction is a point of order taken against a point of order? Somebody is on the floor on a point of order. Then you also want to take a point of order against such a person. Assuming the member is on the floor from the majority side and made a statement, and the honorable former minister is on the feet, I will recognize him for a point of order. But when there is a point of order and you are on your feet for a point of order against point of order, please.
Respect. Speaker, let's not litigate further on this matter.
Yes.
We will not.
Yes.
But Speaker, you did not even listen to him. Whether he was coming on a point of order or point of information, you did not grant him that audience. So you wouldn't have known if he was coming on the point of order or not. But be as it may, if you grant him some minutes as a former sector minister, fine. If not, we can proceed.
Honorable Kabiru, let's proceed. You have 3 more minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was on the point that the intervention by Mr. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in respect of the money we borrowed had touched every single life in this chamber. As a matter of fact, the people of Adaklo has a 5,000-seater stadium due to our taxes and the money borrowed. Nice. The people of Ketu North has a district hospital at Weta.
Very good. You disagree.
These are the impacts of the money borrowed. And I can go on and go. We have AstroTech in the Volta region. All in the Volta region. We have 55 projects all in the Volta region due to the money that Nana Akufo-Addo has raised and spent. So for honorable members to come and say that money has been borrowed for no work is quite rich. Mr. Speaker, my expectation of the president was an opportunity for him to address the state of the nation address. But he told us in this house that he could not give us the true state of the nation address. And he even stated on page 6 of his address that, Mr. Speaker, I'm not able to, and I'll quote Mr. President, he said, nothing could prepare anyone for the reality of the depth of which our economy and government has sunk. It means that he wasn't prepared for the work given to him. This is his own work. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President has dashed the hope of investors.
Remember, that is your interpretation.
Mr. Speaker, the text, I'm quoting him. Mr. Speaker, I'm quoting him. And I'm quoting for the purpose of emphasis and hazard. He said, nothing could prepare anyone for the reality of the depth of which our economy and government has sunk. Anyone, including Mr. President. So I'm quoting him. Those are his own words. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President has dashed the hope of Ghanaian youth and the investor community. Mr. President has painted a gloomy picture about the economy which he cannot recover. Mr. President has misrepresented data to create a gloomy picture. Mr. President has not given the true state of the nation of the year. He has given a state of lamentation. Mr. President has not given the true state of the nation. He has given a state of
Honorable member, conclude.
Mr. President has given a state of lame duck. Mr. President has given a state of confusion. Mr. Speaker, the State of the Nation address was what was presented by the Venerable Member of Parliament for Karga, Dr. Amin Anta, and the minority members of this Parliament for that matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.